with your little Android phone.
Are we on 293? Okay.
I don't know what we're on.
No, we're on 293.
Okay, let me pull up the doc. I don't have
DJ,
anything
have
there
you
yet.
played any more Skyrim VR?
No, my TV's kind of closed off for Christmas decorations, so I'm trying to
Oh.
avoid it for this month. I'd like to play more.
What's
and
the
I just picked
locomotion
up
in
the-
that? Like, do you use like a D-pad or do you do teleportation or something?
No, it's the regular motion from the game. It's the regular motion. It's why I get so sick.
Yeah.
It's really bad. But I picked up the motion controllers to see if maybe that will alleviate anything instead of using a controller.
Yeah.
I doubt
Do
it though.
they bring in? Is there any kind of comfort thing where they like bring in a dark fade
Yeah.
in the sides? Okay. And that doesn't help.
when you turn. Doesn't help when everything's just going to crazy around you. I'll give it some more time, but maybe I'll do it on stream. So if I'm gonna vomit, people can watch it.
Yeah. Because my main criticism for Doom VFR is that they don't have free movement like that. You have your teleportation, and then you have little like dashes that you can use like a D-pad, but it's like a short jump forward.
I don't know if I'm actually getting Doom VFR now that I'm thinking about it. But that one's Vive and PSVR, so I could play it on there.
Oh, that's
at least
coming
from what
PSVR?
Turn down
It's already
for
out, yeah.
what?
Oh, cool.
But the big thing with that is I liked like the teleportation assassinations that you do.
Yeah, that part's really cool.
Yeah, I'm like,
It's
I want to
just
take down some demons like that.
I just wish I could have regular D-pad movement for when I'm moving around. Like,
Yeah,
the little dash thing seems even more disorienting than like regular movement would be.
hmm
And I don't really have a ton of problem with motion sickness, so I would prefer to have the freedom. Not in VR anymore. I get motion sickness in real life.
We're
we're gonna have to talk about Floor Kids.
I already talked about that one.
That just came out yesterday. Technically this morning.
All right.
I only just started to play it, but it's good. Well, it's interesting. Let's put it that way. All right. What else?
Wait. Turn down for what?
Should I just randomly post the podcast in places all over the place?
Yeah. Let me
This
just
point.
listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I'm going to talk. Here's me at that. And then TJ, can you talk?
Yep. I'm speaking at the normal voice I talk in our podcast.
All right. And Matt?
You know, I've been listening to Notch, and he's been saying a lot of interesting stuff about how difficult it is to be white in America.
Yeah, it's true.
Is that good for a sound check?
Yep. All right, Matt. You're always too loud, as always, so I'll turn you down.
Well, Soul Calibur 6 just got announced.
I'm way too
Apparently.
quiet.
Have I shown you guys my super cool bottle opener yet?
Which one?
Okay. Oh, yeah, your gun.
Oh, yeah, the one that flings it, yeah.
All right. Let's try levels again. All right. Here's me at my distance from the mic that I'm going to record. All right. TJ?
Yep, that's me. I'm speaking about beverages, drinking, and not drinking.
All right, Matt?
This is me taking something that you can take out of context and end my political career. But not anymore because nothing matters.
Unless you're a Democrat, and then you step down. Oh.
Hold on, I have a sound for that. This seems appropriate.
Okay, Matt, can you talk again?
I'm talking again. I'm talking.
Hey, I'm talking here.
Hey, I'm talking. I'm working here. Hey. Yeah. Hey.
Jesus Christ, Matt, you're so much louder than everyone else.
I can turn myself down over here.
His equipment's better.
No,
That's
don't
what
turn
it is.
yourself down. I've already adjusted, I think. Let me listen.
I'm going to go live to Twitch while we continue to sound check.
Yep. Here's me talking. Matt, can you go?
Hey, I'm talking. This is how I talk.
All right. Cool, Matt. Cool, Matt Industries. All right, Matt. Can you talk again? Man, I don't think there's anything I can do. I think you have to turn yourself down. Because actually, like, when I adjust you in the stream, it doesn't actually turn you down.
Oh, really?
No. I think it's because you're hosting. So it just turns you down in my headphones. Which is probably why.
Oh, weird. How is it now?
Fortnite Battle Royale has a new mode that just got announced 2 minutes ago.
I saw that. 50 versus 50.
But only for 10 days.
Okay. All right, here I am. Matt, can you talk now, please?
I'm talking right now.
Cool. All right, TJ?
Fuck. Yeah, it's about that loud.
All right, that sounds a lot better. TJ's fine.
And now we know.
What's Reggie talking about?
I'm just going to boost my level 2 clicks, so I'm at 80%. Okay. Yeah, I guess we can keep an eye on the Game Show Awards news as it happens. Didn't we do this last year, too? Because it was on a Thursday?
Well, we did the we did the Nintendo Switch announcement.
Yeah, but I think
get robbed.
I think it was
Might have done the Game Awards too.
I think it just happened to be well, maybe not, because I feel like whatever.
Game Awards,
see if anybody's
is
live
owned
tweeting.
by Jeff Keighley now, right?
I don't know. Oh, there's a new Campo Santo game.
What?
There's a new Monsanto game.
Stop it! All right.
What's the announcement? There's a Nintendo trailer right now. Platinum Games. Oh, it's gotta be. It can't be Xeno. There's got to be Bayonetta coming to Switch
again.
Well, Bayonetta's on the Switch. It's gonna be the 1 and 2 pack. It's got to be. So people can play Bayonetta 2. Because no one can play it right now because no one's got the Wii U version besides me.
I have it.
I'm gonna keep an eye on the hashtag on the Game Awards.
Actually be Bayo 3.
It is. I see a 3 on the screen. So
it is a freaking Bayo 3.
Yep. Ooh, I've got the captions on. It says cheers and applause.
Oh, here's a hot take from Malik Tifaha on Twitter. Well, I call it the hashtag the Game Awards if award winners will be announced and brushed aside so casually like that. Come on, Jeff Keighley. Don't brush people aside.
Well, Jeff Keighley, just, whoever pays him the most money gets the winners. I don't know how this works. All right, I gotta open Matt in a new window, then new tab.
Don't open
Best
me.
esports player. Wait, LOL is still a thing. People actually still play LOL.
What are you talking about?
League of Legends.
Don't say LOL. What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you an old person?
Yes,
I
am an old person.
That's like when the first person I saw was talking to me was like, "Hey, have you played COD 4?" Like, what? Call of Duty, not COD. It was not fucking fish.
No, COD 4 is a fishing game.
So anyway.
No, it's COD 4, Aquatic Warfare.
Mm-hmm. Please no. All right, I gotta do my tweet salad and then we'll start.
Bedtime, girls. You go away.
Someone's in trouble.
We're not on YouTube. We kind of are, but no one watches on YouTube.
We're on YouTube.
Where does it go?
I'll send them a link.
Okay, we'll send you a link. Not
yeah,
safe
what
for
are their
work.
WhatsApps accounts or whatever?
Yeah.
What
They don't have
kids use
WhatsApps.
these days?
Not yet.
Matt wants to know your children's phone numbers.
Cool. All right, I'll send you pictures.
Oh God.
They'll get me on a list.
No, please don't.
I have a list. Can you help me sort this from the epic win to the tragic win list? Hey, no, your birthday is in 4 hours because that's when you were born.
Happy birthday!
4 hours short to 6 minutes because you were born at 1:12 in the morning. Yes, go to bed. You won't miss the day. You'll miss the minute. I'll miss my birth minute. Yeah, you better. Get some sleep. She'll be legal in certain countries.
That's gross.
No,
Not good ones.
Yeah,
Do you want
bad
me to tell
ones
you
like
another
Alabama.
country? It's bedtime. Turn off the hallway light. Thank you.
What is it? Take an E.
Take an
Thank
E.
you.
Yeah, it's take an
Yep.
E.
Got it.
Take
Got
an
it. Got
E.
it. Got it.
Who are we taking it from? Oh, and they did have Bayonetta 1 too. Okay, so they did the announcement first and then Bayonetta 3. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it's going to be a full $60 again. Guarantee it'll be.
Help! I lost the part of the keyboard I was on. I don't know. Twitch. Hashtag Twitch. There's too many hashtags in my hashtag salad now.
Then talk more about what we're about.
Make sure to mention that we're the
chat.
official Game Awards fan cast. Officially licensed. Hideo Kojima. Here's a weird dead guy. It's raining.
Okay, we can't. Just
Oh,
make the
he's not
podcast
dead,
this
and
way.
also he's Norman Reedus.
Wait,
That's
so
not-
are we? Are we just going to narrate what's going on in the Game Awards?
We
instead?
can't narrate the game.
It's an
Awards.
audio play.
Oh my god, the Game Awards is like a legitimate thing now.
Yeah. Ever since
That's what
it
they want you to think.
stopped being the video game awards. When
Yeah, it's true. It's got board
Jeff
games
Keighley
that
bought
now.
it from Spike TV. My
Man, this
resolution
game
is
sure
shit.
looks weird.
All right.
And also not like a game at all.
Well, that's a Kojima Productions game for you.
It's gonna be a good. It's gonna be a good short film.
All right. I have a hashtag salad tweeted, so we got to start.
Hash brown salad. Sounds delicious.
I love hash browns. Yep. Hash browns with butter. Hash browns with maple syrup. Hash browns, no ketchup.
Oh no, you gotta put
Hash
ketchup
browns
on.
plain. No, hash
Alright.
browns
Gotta
are
put some
plain.
ketchup on.
But
Ketchup on everything.
Most of them dark brown. You gotta make them all
Oh
dark
no,
brown.
no! It's all wrong. It's all wrong.
You want them crispy. You want the hash browns crispy.
Not dark brown, crisp. Like light brown.
Welcome to our
want them to
pre-show
be,
hack the
like-
menu.
I don't want them to be tough, like raw potato tough, because sometimes when they're too raw, they're like that weird stuff where they still taste like just a raw potato. And I don't want them burned. I want them
No,
right in
my
the
raw
middle.
potatoes, steak fries are where I want to taste raw potato in the middle.
Oh, no, I never want to taste raw potato in anything. It's got a weird crunch. Potato that's undercooked that just always reminds me of vomit.
This is what we are now. This is who we is.
Oh man, there's a whole lot of black goo swallowing that dude, and now he's turned into sparkles.
What is this?
Norman Reedus is upset about that.
Oh, it's doing they're doing more Death Stranding stuff. This will probably no year for it yet.
There's a big, giant invisible dude of some kind.
Okay, we have to record.
Welcome to Born in the 80s, episode 4.
All right, I'm gonna start. Welcome to Born in the 80s, episode 293. I'm your host, John Dangerow, joined by my co-hosts.
Norman Reedus.
Yes.
And TJ, May.
You sound really different, Norman.
Yeah, well...
I don't even know what...
I think they ADR some of my lines in The Walking Dead, so...
Okay.
I think part of it is Norman Reedus is Norm Macdonald's new legal name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Norm Macdonald Reedus.
You wanted to go for an edgier, hardcore version? And that's what he did.
Yeah.
So the Game Awards are happening while we're trying to record this, and both of my co-hosts are just watching the Game Awards.
There's a baby inside of a bubble on a man's backpack.
Yep. I'm only half watching it.
That's just
I just wanted to see if there were any big announcements that I should mention during the show, but it's just a big old Death Stranding trailer, and man, that shit looks weird, and not like a game at all.
Yeah.
It's December right now. What happened to this freaking year?
That's true. It's a December to remember.
Yeah, I don't know. This year, nothing really happened. It went by pretty slowly.
Yeah. No, so much has happened. We've had an upheaval. We've had, it's been the best year. There's nothing bad has happened to anyone. You know.
America's great. We're all good. Everyone feels safe and secure.
Yeah.
And doesn't feel like the world could explode into nuclear war at any moment. Which reminds me, Fallout 4 VR comes out on Tuesday. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Tune right in.
It's kind of a mixed bag. It's the threat of actual nuclear war and Fallout 4 VR. So even.
Yeah. You know, I love nuclear war.
We should probably simul-stream that then.
What? Yeah, we're going back to the 80s. War.
No, he'll stream Fallout 4 VR, and I'll be in Skyrim VR vomiting.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'll just stream Hold Fast Nations at War.
Yeah, I want to see if my computer can handle that game. This week, I want to play it.
So I'm still I think the game is right now at the status of fun thing that we're waiting for streamers to. What the balls just happened? I have this also in the background.
What the heck? I just turned it on. I'm like, what is that?
Norman Reedus' throat. A camera went down it, and there was a baby in his throat that gave a thumbs up, and then he just puked some goo, and a bunch of flying cockroaches came out of the goo. This is a Kojima game, buddy. We're ready. Holy cow! I'm excited because I fucking love the insanity that are Kojima games, and Metal Gear Solid 5 didn't have quite as much.
Oh, I'm just now getting to the part where we're going down Reedus' throat.
Yeah, look for the baby high five.
You weren't kidding about that baby thumbs up.
Yeah, so that's a thing that happened.
I'm just waiting to see if there's going to be a date or a year or something.
I know this thing has been hyped up for ages. It's got
now Norman Reedus is getting onto a skateboard and turning his hat backwards. And he's drinking a cool, crisp, refreshing 7-Up.
I've been enjoying.
Looks like this is going to be a Cool Spot sequel.
Yeah. I've been enjoying
Hideo
Kojima's Twitter account, where it's just him and Mads Mikkelsen like hanging out in like Japan and broing down at like bars. Like it's like literally what's going on. So no date. Oh no, they're coming out to talk.
Not in the
now.
trailer.
Oh, I fucking hate this shit. Sorry, I
love
Kojima, but people are like, he gets a lot of credit for the fact that like 2 years ago that Konami wouldn't allow him to accept the award for Metal Gear Solid 5, and like, so I don't know, they're just like playing on that. Like, everyone's like, all right, yeah. You do realize Hideo Kojima puts out a game every like 8 years.
He's really good at creating visually compelling but possibly ultimately meaningless short films.
Yeah. Hey, I love him.
The only way to salvage what they're doing on stage right now is Norman Reedus needs to eat a fetus right now.
Norman
straight
Reedus.
Up, like, chomp the head off of one.
Metal Gear Solid 4 was an incredible experience. It was one of the coolest things ever. It's insane. Also, it was kind of a bad game. Did they announce a date? Because I don't think so. I think they just came out to get like fucking high fives. This theater's half empty. They fucking panned out and there's a bunch of empty seats. Jeff Keighley, you're hiding.
Buddy Roger's there. Shout out to Roger, who's not listening to this because he's there.
Fine.
Hey, Roger.
Anyway, Norman Fetus.
Yeah, you guys remember earlier when I coined the term Norman Fetus? That's pretty sweet.
Somebody else just tweeted that 34 seconds ago, so I think they win. So
nobody
Roger
knows
just tweeted back to me.
Recorded.
Well, not to me, but he says Death Stranding, Game of the Year 20XDX.
Yeah, that's when it comes out.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's oh my god, they're literally just all trailers. Like, what is the Game Awards? It's just all trailers for games.
It's nothing anymore.
Yeah. No awards.
It's not an awards show. It's like an advertising.
It's like
show.
E3, like distilled into like 1-2 hour long thing.
Basically.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about our lives. Matt.
Yeah.
You saw a movie that I also saw.
I did. It's about the former Mrs. First Lady of the Johnson administration. Lady Bird Johnson, and that's the only historical reference
that's like
that I know for that joke.
When I was describing that movie to my fiance, she kept saying like, "What's this movie?" And I said, "It's called Lady Bird." And she was like, "Is that about Lady Bird Johnson?
Yeah,
or is it about Hank
I had
Hill's
no idea.
dog,
I really thought it
Lady
was
Bird?" Yeah.
So John, what is Lady Bird actually about?
Lady Bird is a movie by indie darling Greta Gerwig. She wrote and directed the movie Lady Bird. And okay, I want you to pronounce the lead actress's name.
Okay, I gotta look it up. She's Irish, right?
Don't look up how to pronounce it, though. Let me spell it for you. Oh, wait, let me know. Don't look it up. I'll tell you it. It's S. Let me wait. I'm gonna write it down on a piece of paper and hold it up because we're on.
Okay. I could just look at IMDb.
This too.
Because I learned this because she was on SNL. I just want to make sure I have it spelled right because most of the jokes about her is how to write her name. Oh my god, I almost wrote it correctly the first time. I had two things written. You may remember this actress from the movie Grand Budapest Hotel.
Oh here it is. Shit! I didn't make that connection, but yeah. Now that you say
is that
yes.
backwards?
No, it's correct for us. You're fine.
Okay, it's just backwards on my screen. S-A-O-I-R-S-E.
Sorcy.
Okay. I want to pronounce this. I'm now. That's a first and a last name, isn't it?
Absolutely not. That's a first name. Last name's Ronan.
That's a first name.
It's Irish,
so
if that helps.
Okay, so I want to attempt to pronounce it. Is it Sawarse?
Soarce? Okay,
Soarce.
That's yours. And Matt,
Soarce?
you're submitting?
Source.
Source. No.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you how it's
Source
pronounced.
Lannister.
Matt, you're closer. It's Saoirse.
Saoirse.
Just like it's spelled. Like,
No, I'm sorry,
Celtic.
John. The lead actor's name from Lady Bird is actually pronounced Laurie Metcalf.
Yes. Yes, it is. No, it's Saoirse. And then I guess she talks about how she's eternally grateful for everyone's favorite man-hunk movie guy. Oh, damn, I can't think of his name. Who's everyone's favorite movie guy?
Ryan Reynolds, who's now Pikachu.
Ryan Gosling, thank you. It was another famous Ryan.
It was some Ryan.
He said,
some dumbass Ryan.
You can remember it by saying it sounds like the word inertia. It's Saoirse. Boom.
Okay.
So I guess it's Celtic for freedom or something like that. So
yeah, how'd that work out for them?
Let me get that correct. But she's a 22-year-old actress. She was in that Brooklyn movie. I think she was nominated for an Academy Award for that one as well. So she's kind of one of those up-and-comers. Let me see if I can find out where... Oh, you know what? She's probably just an anecdote she told. It's not going to say in her fucking Wikipedia page. Like, what it means. Although I suppose I could just look up the word. This is what the podcast is.
So this is a coming-of-age movie about being in a Catholic high school, basically.
It is Irish for freedom. Okay, I was correct. It was... Yes, so... It's a pretty cool name if you're Irish. And she is Irish. But what's the movie about, Matt?
It's about being a teenage lady in this modern world in these trying times. No.
In 2003 or something.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it's basically like a slice of life kind of thing where she's going through high school. But
it's basically the perfect distillation of 1 year of high school.
Yeah,
like it's all
what it
really
encapsulated
into 2 hours.
Is a masterpiece of pacing and editing because it moves at just like this breakneck pace, but you don't feel like you're missing anything. You just it gives the feeling of being in high school, and like at the end you're like, holy shit, where did all that go?
Yeah, it's actually an incredible movie. It's one of my favorites in a long time. I think what it does so well is it really encapsulates that feeling of like wanting to like be doing something but being in stuck in high school, but like not having the knowledge of what you want to be doing, but just knowing that you need to be doing something. Basically, it's that kind of that feeling you had when you were in high school where you're just like, I need to go and do something, but I don't really know what it is I need to go do yet. So I still have to figure that part out.
Yeah,
but I know it's not being here. You know what I mean? I need to leave my hometown and get out, you know? So, and that's the thing that you learn when you get older is that you never figure out what you want to do in your entire life. So, yeah.
Yeah. So the mom is
really
played by Laurie Metcalf.
Yep.
And the dad is the
Uncle Jackie,
Roseanne
or Aunt Jackie. Not Uncle Jackie.
Who's
that's
the dad?
A different spinoff.
Tracy Letts. He's like the real hero of the thing. I mean,
Tracy Letts. I guess he's a playwright, and he's acted like twice. And so
he was really good.
Must be friends with. He was very good. Yeah, the movie is very much about being in a not small town, because you know Sacramento is where it takes place, but like a smallish town, like not like New York,
not like
or
LA
LA
or something.
Yeah. So you're like in a, because like what is it? I mean, it's about the same size as Madison. Sacramento is.
Yeah, I always hear about Sacramento as like a California suburb.
Yeah, well, again, she calls it in the movie the Midwest of California. But like what I love about the movie is how earnest it feels. It's actually bigger than Madison. It's got 500,000 people, so it's like 30% bigger than Madison. But it's just because like it's this. I don't know. It just feels so exactly what it's like to be in high school, where like when you're going to go off in college and you're just shit talking your hometown. You know, but like you actually secretly love it. You know what I mean? Like you know everything about it.
And all the side characters feel completely real, and it's like nobody's phoning in a performance.
Yeah, it just felt that's what's so good about that movie is that it really feels like real, and it reminds me of what I loved. And I talked about this with Lauren, who I went to see the movie with, my fiance, and we talked about like this is what we loved so much about the show Mad Men. Is it isn't trying to like tell some sort of crazy plot or anything. It's just this is life and how these really interesting characters react to it and have just little observations on things.
Yeah. It's it's like if you took a year of someone's life and just cut out all the boring parts.
Yeah.
And just strung them all in a row.
Like just there's so many moments in that movie that like make you smile. Like just the moment when like her character Lady Bird meets this guy for the first time, you know, and obviously hasn't had like relationships before, and she meets this guy and they really hit it off, and she's like walking home, she just like yells, because that's like what you do when you're in high school. You're just like, oh my god, something's happened finally. You know what I mean?
Back when
like
I used to feel things.
Yeah, like you just have that youthful like, I don't know. It's just incredible. Greta Gerwig, incredible debut. First movie she's directed. I guess she starred in that movie, Frances Ha. Frances Ha. It's a movie. Very, very well reviewed, I guess. It's Noah Baumbach movie.
Okay.
But she's in that.
She's going to be a voice in Isle of Dogs, apparently.
Yeah. Well, so people are like, Greta Gerwig is like, the movie Frances Ha is the sequel to this because it's like New York like 20-something. So
really?
So I guess I've heard that movie's really good. So but yeah, I don't know what else, like there's not a lot you can say about this movie because again there's no crazy plot twist, there's no this, it's just this family.
Well, there was that part where the space aliens invaded and then everyone started to mutate.
It was a bit out of left field, but it made sense.
Then her leg gets chopped off and replaced with an energy cannon.
Yeah. And, yeah, it's like that part in Grindhouse when Rose McGowan gets the gun leg. It felt like a pretty good homage to that. Like, you know.
But no, it'll be interesting to see what Greta Gerwig does going forward, because it looks like she's got a lot of Wes Anderson connections. So I wouldn't be surprised if the general like Wes Anderson cast of actors start showing up.
Yeah. So like you'll see like Saoirse was in, you know, Grand Budapest. Now it's in Greta's movie. She's doing a voice in that. Oh, anyway, I'm excited for the Isle of Dogs movie. It looks really good as well.
Yeah, that looks really cool too. I'm excited. More stop motion. More Wes Anderson stop motion.
Wes Anderson.
So one of the Wes Anderson, like a Fantastic Mr. Fox style.
Yeah, it looks very similar to that style.
Okay.
So, he is up there for favorite directors of mine. Him. Like my favorite director.
Well, you're always talking about how you admire and want to emulate people like Woody Allen and Roman Polanski. And
Roman Polanski's big. You know, as a producer, Harvey Weinstein's really knocked it out of the park finding
Dustin Hoffman.
my favorite directors are probably Wes Anderson, Paul Thomas Anderson, and
Paul W.S. Anderson.
No, not Paul W.S. Anderson. Paul Thomas
you
Anderson.
You have to admire his ability to marry Mila Jovovich, though. That's pretty impressive.
I think my favorite director, though, is probably Alexander Payne.
What's he done?
You know Alexander Payne. Famous director.
Oh, let's see. Sideways.
Yeah. Election. About Schmidt. The Descendants. That's
Nope.
That's Nebraska. He's the movie Downsizing coming out.
Oh, I saw Election. That was fun.
Yeah. So the movie Downsizing is coming out this December, along with
I saw a preview for that. That looked really good.
That I have to see, because Nebraska. I mean, and his first like real full like movie that he did, right, is Citizen Ruth, of course, starring my favorite actress, Laura Dern. And so he's got impeccable taste. You know, he knows how to pick them. But About Schmidt and Sideways are some of my favorite movies. The Descendants is really good. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's incredible. But Downsizing looks awesome. So, TJ, have you heard of the plot of Downsizing?
No, I've not at all.
Okay, so it's not like a spoiler to say this or anything, but like it's basically like a social satire where this is a world. It's like a sci-fi movie where you can shrink yourself to be like 4 inches tall and move to a society where everyone is 4 inches tall, basically, like a 4 to 6 inch version, you know, of yourself.
Yeah, and basically,
and like, yeah,
what that means is you have the money, like your average person with your average amount of money then suddenly has the amount of money to live like a king because everything costs almost nothing because it's on that tiny scale.
Yeah, because if you want to move out to the downsized suburbia, it's like, well, you can get this mansion for the cost of like what a dollhouse would be. You know what I mean? Like and you have all this land because there's so much more room, and everybody's the same size down there, but you're just, you know, different from the other society. And it stars Matt Damon and Kristen Wiig. And not to spoiler anything, but it is in the trailer. They both decide to downsize, and she backs out, and he doesn't. And he has
it's
to kind
permanent.
of go. And it is a permanent change, yes. So it looks really cool. It kind of has some really cool looking effects where, like, you know, they're like out and I guess they escape out into the real world, and there's like giant leaves of grass or blades of grass and stuff. I don't know. It looks great. It's got Christoph Waltz in it, I guess, as well. But Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah, the first I heard of that was at the Ladybird, seeing the trailer at Ladybird.
Yeah,
I'd never
same here,
heard of it before that.
But he is one of my favorite directors for sure. I mean, have you seen About Schmidt, Matt?
I don't think so.
So that is probably
what's it about?
Like top 25 movies. So it stars Jack Nicholson.
Get it? What's it about?
Yes, he's Schmidt.
Okay.
Warren Schmidt. He retires basically from a job at like an insurance place or something. He's worked there for like 50 years, and his wife passes away, and he goes off to like see his daughter's wedding. And basically he was always this kind of like uptight like guy who just lived like a normal life, and he has this like experience where he's like everything changes, and he like drives across the country. I don't know how to describe it other than there's like delightful parts where he sees an ad on TV about like you can sponsor a child in Africa for like pennies a day or something, so he signs up for that, and he writes like long letters to this kid in Africa called Ndugu, and it's like, hey there, Ndugu, how are things going there? I'm sure you want to run off with your check and get some food, but if you'd like to listen to what I've been up to, it's just so like incredible. Like, it's such a good movie, like about not like a coming of age, but like, you know, because there's a guy who's like 65, but it's like kind of like he takes a hard look at the way his life was. And like his daughter was always kind of estranged because she's marrying this guy who's kind of weird, you know, but then he's like, I don't know, it's just kind of like a movie about being someone who's 65 and then growing up a little bit after the fact, you know what I mean? And kind of finding yourself. So Really good though. God damn, that's a good movie. And Descendants is incredible as well. That's the movie of which the dean from Community won an Academy Award for writing the script, which is funny that is Jim Rash has an Academy Award. I love that movie as well. He writes like really good. He's like my Misery Vampire guy, like where he writes movies that are like kind of sad, but also really funny, with like really cool, like Sideways. Sideways isn't really sad though. Like
no, it can be depressing at times, but
Paul Giamatti's a little
and like
sad.
I think I only saw it once on TV, so I don't have a ton of sense of what it's about. But Paul Giamatti likes wine, and that other guy likes wine, and then I don't think they like a certain kind of wine. I don't know. And then stuff happens.
No, it's just two middle-aged guys going on a road trip through California. One's about to get married, and the other one's still kind of like his uptight friend who doesn't do anything, and they just kind of find and meet people, and it's just really like it's very slice of lifey. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what I like about Alexander Payne is that he can do that. That's what a lot of these feel like. Probably not. Election doesn't feel like a slice of life movie quite as much.
No, that's a little bit more wacky.
Very much just a funny movie. The guy who wrote the Leftovers book wrote the election script, as well as the Tom Perrotta. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's apparently much harder than Saoirse Ronan, but no, I love that. Speaking of stuff I love,
Jumanji,
Black Mirror coming out.
Oh, I didn't see the trailer for season 4 yet.
They've done a bunch. Sorry, why don't you do your thing? Since you guys.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to mention that since you love Jumanji, the Game Awards are now showing a promo for the Jumanji movie starring Chris Tucker, The Rock, and Jack Black. Noticeably absent is Karen Gilliam. I don't know what that means about society at large. But did you know that if you have a Prime membership, you'll be able to watch this movie for free before it's in theaters?
Wait, like on Amazon Prime?
Yeah, I think that means they don't think it's going to be a good movie.
So, you know what's really interesting about this, and this is 100% conjecture, but I read an article, I think it was on the AV Club, where they were like, maybe this movie isn't going to suck, because I guess they did an advanced screening for some people, and most of the people were like, boy, that wasn't as terrible as I thought it was going to be. That was actually kind of fun. So maybe it actually, you never know with movies like with trailers like this one has had, where it's like kind of really going for like a style, on whether or not like, okay, the trailer's just like the cheesiest jokes, and there's actually some really funny gags here. Or, the trailer was all of the jokes, and the movie sucks.
And it's like,
which is
obviously they're not, it's nothing like the Robin Williams Jumanji where they actually play the board game. They're just going into this world, so who knows what the plot's actually going to be. I guess they probably run into some poachers or something and then have to do a thing, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe Amazon just does not give a shit about box office gross and only has it in theaters for some other reason. But like, I don't know why they would be like, hey, don't buy movie tickets. You can just watch it on our website.
Yeah, well, who knows? So.
I mean, it's not in theaters for Oscars considerations, so. But you guys
were talking about Black. Someone mentioned Black Mirror a little bit ago.
Yes.
I just want to throw this out there because I've not seen Black Mirror yet, and I really need to. I heard it's really good.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you have a Netflix account, so.
I do. There is a Black Mirror video game coming out.
Really?
Wait.
No.
How?
Just in title only. It's not really. It was in development for years before the show was showing up. It's just Black Mirror by name. It's not related to the Black Mirror TV show at all.
Yeah.
Well, sometime next year. I have no clue what it is. I just saw it in my list of pre-orders at work.
Well, great. So we got that to look forward to. A Black Mirror game that has nothing to do with
Just don't get confused, so don't buy it.
You can buy it on Steam. It takes place in Scotland in 1926.
Okay.
Following the death of his father, David Gordon visits his ancestral home for the first time in his life. A life that is soon threatened by the dark secrets that claimed the sanity of many Gordons before him.
Thank you, Matt. Speaking of Ryan Reynolds, the new Pikachu. I love that. He's going to be playing. So this was the movie of which they had the trailer for. That was, hey, we're going to have Pikachu as a detective, and Pikachu fucking talks. And everyone was like, we need to have Danny DeVito be Pikachu. Which I still think probably would end up being better than this. But I think that Ryan Reynolds will be fun, too, because that's a weird thing.
Because I think the voice in Japan was some grizzly guy,
yeah.
too. So it would have made a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. You don't know the shit I've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'd expect out of it.
Detective Pikachu. Yeah. That is not going to happen. They're going with the... well, he'll be fun, though. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not really... I haven't watched
it being good.
I haven't watched a Pokemon movie since Pokemon the movie. So I probably won't.
I've seen a few.
Go out.
I've seen a few. They're not bad. And
there's
this one's live
there's
action.
Another one where Pikachu talks, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Because I've seen a video of like crowd reactions to it where people are this scene happens and people are just like, what? Like their whole world is destroyed.
The most recent one.
The most recent Pokemon movie that's based off of the anime, where this Detective Pikachu one is just a side movie, and it's going to be live action with real people in it, and a Pikachu. But the most recent movie is kind of a retelling of Ash's first adventure in Kanto. So basically a retelling of the first season of Pokemon in a movie.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where basically awesome. There's a scene where Ash is basically hallucinating.
They're both dead. They're both like gonna be blown up or something. It looks like they're like about to say their last words to each other.
No, because I think this is where this happened right after the like when the frickin' Spearows were attacking them. And they're both basically nearly dead next to each other in the rain.
Yeah. And Pikachu. He asks why Pikachu never wants to go inside a Pokeball. Why?
Because he wanted to protect him. You're like,
yeah.
I forget what he says.
The process of converting a Pikachu into energy to be stored in a digital format instead of a ball is just the most painful.
Wasn't it something like
it's like 10,000 knives being stabbed?
Yeah, well, it's basically like, you know how like the teleporter problem where like, okay, they molecularize you and then send you out and like rebuild you. It's like you dies every time, and your consciousness is not transferred, and it's like a new version of you, and like. So
and it's because of this that hell is overflowing with Pikachu souls.
No, he says because I always want to be with you. Like, that was what he says. So, because he doesn't want to be in the ball, he always wants to be out with him. So, it was really weird that Pikachu talks.
Yeah.
Because no other Pokemon talks like that, right? They all just say their name.
Yeah, they just say their name.
Yeah.
There might be other ones that Meowth talks. Okay, this is fair then. I don't know. People are freaking out. They're like, oh, Pikachu talks. Except for that Meowth is just like, hey, let's go down and get a slice in Brooklyn. Like, that's Meowth.
And the Pikachu...
Like, yep, go.
Apparently it was explained away that basically because Ash is basically at the point of death for himself, too. He's hallucinating.
Yeah.
So
it's not canon.
He's probably hallucinating everything in Pokemon.
Oh, it's canon that he hallucinated, or maybe did he? We'll never know. But yeah,
it's a fever dream. He died, and all the rest of Pokemon is just his dream.
Yeah,
Pokemon takes place on our actual Earth is also canon. That's the thing
Don't you love
on the internet?
the like Pokemon like fan theories where they're like, yeah, you know why like all the kids are out and like about and like Ash's mom is like doesn't have a dad is because there was like a great war in like 20 years ago and all the dads died in the war. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with
She's
you?
always hooking up with that Mr. Mime.
No, there's a tiny bit of anecdotal evidence for that.
Yeah,
and that's related. That's in Pokemon Red and Blue when you fight Lieutenant Surge.
Okay.
Talking about how Raichu helped him in the war.
Yeah.
And he's one of the few survivors
army.
of that
The
Pokemon
one
war.
character who looks like an army general and calls himself Lieutenant Surge references the military at some point. But anyway,
Well, he references the military, and in my mind, he's referencing the old drink, which I had some the other week.
Yeah.
The Surge is back around here and there.
Again?
Yeah.
I wish I could drink Surge. I wish I could drink sugary things like that. Because, like, I'm at the age...
It's not good.
I'm at the age where when I drink
like...
something that sugary, I get, like, really low, like, blood sugar, like, a while afterwards. Not, like bad, but I just feel, like, really, like, ugh. Like,
like
an hour after
sugar,
I drink
but
it.
I feel like garbage after I have a ton of it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I
It's
still
like,
have
I just
it.
feel like shit.
Like, I can't help myself.
It tastes great, but then you feel awful
Like,
like an hour later. You're just kind of like, ugh. Well, I get like all jittery, and I'm like, oh, like the sugar is just like ruins my body.
I thought it would be a good idea to have peppermint cheesecake with my lunch yesterday, and it was.
No.
Till I started digesting it.
Yeah.
It tasted great. I mean, it was very festive and Christmassy. Even though I am a soldier in the war on Christmas, never forget all the brave soldiers we lost.
Never forget the Starbucks cup.
Yeah,
that we lost.
And this year's one you can color yourself.
Yeah,
I don't know if you heard about this.
Yeah,
I heard that people were saying that there was like, it was promoting same-sex marriage somehow. Because people were holding hands, and I guess they interpreted both of the hands as female.
Yeah, I heard that weird theory too. So, who knows? All right. Let's talk
I'm going to say something ridiculous because I feel it's true. And because I feel it's true, it's more important than it actually being true. Feelings are more important than facts.
That's true. It's the world we live in now.
No, we've always lived in that world. The more I learn about history, the more I'm like...
Yeah.
Like, no, facts just never mattered. It was all just about swaying. Like, so I started listening to The Dollop, which is an American history podcast hosted by a couple of comedians. And I just listened to...
Because who knows more about American history than comedians?
Well, one of them is like real smart. The other one's just there for comic relief. But they just did I just listened to an episode on the introduction of cars to America, and there was a big period of time where pedestrians were just getting killed constantly because they hadn't established the rules of like crossing at the corner and crosswalks and everything. And a lot of the stuff that we do now and take for granted was stuff that was lobbied for by the auto industry to pave the way for people buying more cars. So it's like the stuff like the fact that we cross at the corner and that jaywalking is a term that we used to insult people and that crosswalks are a thing. They exist because
a bunch of dirty jaywalkers.
Yeah, that like Jay was slang for like a country bumpkin at the time. So it was like, oh, if you get hit by a car jaywalking, it's because you're a hick that doesn't know how to walk across the street in the city. But like the fact that all that stuff is in place because people wanted to sell more cars and they managed to sway public opinion against pedestrians. It's just fucking bonkers. So it's been going on for a long time. And we're just in the latest incarnation of that.
Huh. That is, that's it. That's it. You've discovered the truth behind the world. That's 2017 basically. Is us discovering what the world is. So I watched Ken Burns.
Holy shit!
Vietnam War. If you heard about that, the PBS series.
Vietnam War.
Yes, on Vietnam.
No, I haven't heard of that.
It's incredible. It's the whole Vietnam War, like in it's like I think like 20 hours across 8 episodes, or like maybe like 18 hours across 8. I don't know. It's very long, very comprehensive. They do a really good job of kind of showing the entirety of everything, and what you like learn is, oh, America's exactly the same as it was then. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because they like have Nixon, who was elected, who's like talking about how the media is a bunch of liars, and it's just like, we're in the cycle again. We're exactly where we were. Like,
and this is just something I'm coming up with on the fly, so it might not be
a flat
super
circle.
Great. It's a flat circle.
Yeah, you got it.
Time is a squared circle.
That's true.
And history
Time
is
is a kind of rhombus.
Circle gets the square.
Time is a tesseract, and if you reach through it, you can send your daughter messages through the bookshelf.
Yes. Dear God. I like that movie, but I do too. It wrapped up in a weird way.
Yeah. The last act was strange, but I still like it.
Yeah, me too. Hashtag me too.
It seems like every 20 to 40 years.
God damn it,
enough of the populace.
What? I like that movie as well. Fine, hashtag me as well. Is that better? I would like to name the name of the episode that as well, but that just is bad. I shouldn't make a joke about that, and I apologize already. It was a bad joke, but.
And John, are you going to resign from your post as podcast host?
Yeah. Actually, what I'm going to do is talk about resigning, and then not doing it and hoping everyone forgets about it next week, which is the Republican way of doing it.
John, I officially condemn you, and I do not support you, and I cannot look my family members in the face if I support you. And next week I'll support you. It's fine.
I'd like to say that the accusations about me saying that sentence about a minute ago are false, and there's no evidence or proof otherwise.
I now support John Rowe as podcast host again.
Matt.
Hashtag it's
here,
not
take
pedophilia,
some money.
It's a phebophilia.
Matt, can I hashtag bro down with you about something?
Yes.
Matt, let's bro
do you
down.
Some bro down music?
Yeah, sure. Got it? All right, ready?
Yep.
Let's bro down about sleep apnea.
All right.
Because this is a topic I think you know about.
Shitty thing.
Yeah. How what is your life experience with sleep apnea, Matthew?
So I was tired for the first 2.5 decades of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And then my girlfriend at the time mentioned something about me stopping breathing in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And so I went in and got a test for it. Like, they gave me a thing to hook up to my face or whatever when I went to bed.
Like a sleep study? Yep.
Yeah. It was a home study. They didn't have me try to fall asleep at the sleep clinic.
Well, that would have been nice.
But they analyzed it and they were like, you stop breathing 4,000 times or some dumb high number.
Yeah.
And then I got all my throat cut out, and now I don't have sleep apnea anymore.
Nice.
And now I'm just tired because of depression, but that's a different story.
Because of the world that has made us weary.
Because of the fucking world.
Cool.
So I gather from your interjections that you had to do a sleep study at the actual clinic.
I had a sleep study last night at the actual clinic.
Oh man, I don't even know how I would fall asleep in a place like that.
Don't know. Well, okay, so let's go through the whole thing. I'm gonna be descriptive as I can. This is at Wisconsin Sleep, which is a beautiful location, nice building.
I think it's probably the same clinic I went to.
Yeah, it's
there can't be
clinic in town.
Yeah, how many sleep clinics can there be in Madison?
Yeah. So I got there at 8 for like an orientation. We watched a video on like sleep apnea and like information about it and stuff. And then they had us go to our rooms, and they're like all these fucking cameras on the fucking ceiling that look at you. And it's like a hotel room. Like I had my own bathroom, shower. I had a bed, like a queen size bed, with a really comfortable memory foam mattress on it. There was a million like channels on the TV. I had satellite television with a flat screen that I could watch. It was basically like just like, you know, get yourself set up, right? You go to bed, you know, like do all this stuff. And then when you're ready, they'll open up the door and the technician will come in and, you know, get your PJs on or whatever. And then like you crack the door and the technician will come in who's going to watch you sleep on a camera overnight, and record it. And they'll put sensors on you all over your body. It was like some like 30 sensors that stuck to my body. Like on my calves, you know, like on my chest, on like my side, like on my face, like 2 up here and 2 down here. And then in my head, like they had this like wax that they like stick in your hair onto your like scalp and then put the sensor in that so they can like measure your brain activity. And so it was like a billion wires all like bundled up into this like little Game Boy looking thing that they'd hang up above the bed basically, and you're attached to that, and they're like, all right, try and sleep covered in wires, which is not fun. And the worst part is like if you have to get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, which I'm usually pretty good on. Like I usually have to get up like it's I have the old I have to wake up at 10 minutes before my alarm's going to go off because I have to pee. It's like I wake up right before my alarm goes off and I have to pee. So then you have to call them in to help you.
Really?
So that's cool. Yeah. Because
so
they have to like
poor
unhook you from the
intern
wall.
there like
no, it's the
monitoring
sleep
you
technician. It's like a guy who's been there. They said he'd been there for 17 years, who did a great job. He's very nice. So yeah, I tried to sleep with all these wires, and it sucks because I sleep on my side, and I like turn around a lot. And he was like, "It'll probably be you'll be fine as long as you don't like 360 if you just go from one side to the other." But like even then, like with the wires, I couldn't lay on my side very well, and I figured I should probably lay on my back because I know if I have apnea, it'll be worse if I'm on my back, even though I don't like to sleep on my back. And so
let me describe to you my experience with a home sleep test, and this is it's just it's a lot. It's kind of hard to talk about. I had to clip a thing onto my finger to measure my pulse.
Oh yeah, I had that as well. That was the worst part, FYI.
And I had a strap that went around my chest that I think was measuring for chest expansions.
Yep.
And then I had a little tube thing that went under my nose, sort of like what you see elderly people with oxygen tanks having.
Yep, I had those. Those are very uncomfortable.
And then I had to sleep like that.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much the same thing.
I just recorded it. Yeah, so I was videotaped all night, so that's fun.
Man.
Well, you know, they like make you sign a form.
John,
like,
you've got 4.5 awkward boners in the middle of the night.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, only the doctor and the technician see this, so.
And YouTube.
But anyway, yeah, and YouTube. No, she specifically said that this won't be on the internet or anything. I was like, well, yeah, thanks. Ha ha ha.
Yeah,
great joke.
I'm aware of HIPAA. Thanks.
Yeah, the fact that you say that also isn't very good. But anyway, the sleep was hard. I did fall asleep like eventually, because they're like, you get there at 8, and then like at like the whole like orientation takes like an hour, and then like I get into bed and I get the technician in there, so it's like about like 10:30 by the time he's done hooking me up, and it's like, all right, this isn't a stupid like early time for me to start falling asleep. So I like lay in bed and I listen to a podcast on my phone, like on the side of the bed, and I'm just trying to like fall asleep, and I can't because I'm uncomfortable with all these wires. Well, the bed was comfortable, the pillows were not. I'm a real like I'm a real like nester. Like I got to get all gummed up in there. And so eventually I was able to sleep on my side, and then I rolled over because I was, wanted to roll over, and I couldn't roll all the way over, so I laid on my back, and I was like kind of like knowing that it would be bad if I laid on my back because my snoring's really bad then. But I was like, you know what? This is the time to show off how bad my snoring is, so let's do it. Let's try and sleep on my back. And I could feel myself waking up, because I've noticed this if I lay on my back, because I'll snort myself awake. You know what I mean? I'll be like,
yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's sleep apnea, like straight up, because that's they talked in the video. They're like, that happens because your body closes the passage and stops breathing, and then that's your brain being like, hey, you gotta like cough so you can breathe. And so you like do that. You like snort.
It's like,
do
hey,
like a
fucker,
inhale.
You're dying. Stop it.
So yeah, they're talking about like all these illnesses that can be caused by sleep apnea, and like how it's really bad, and like not just the tiredness, but like it can, like, apparently if you have sleep apnea, you're 50% higher chance of dying from heart disease, like just straight up, just because it's really bad on your heart to like have low oxygen, be oxygen deprived, not like a lot, but like just a little bit,
but like
every
little
night,
bits
you know?
It's like death by 1,000 cuts. It's like
exactly.
needles over time.
Yeah. So I was like, all right. And so I laid on my back, and they said, all right, so like you can either do a 1-night study or a 2-night study. And the 1-night study will be like, they'll study you without the mask on, like a CPAP on. Then the second night they'll try it with the CPAP on to see what the difference is. And the CPAP is a continuous pressurized like air. I forget what it stands for, but anyways, it shoots air,
positive air pressure.
Thank you. It shoots air into your nose through, like, the one they had there was like the nasal kind, where it just is like a little thing that goes over your head, and then like has a little strap that goes under your nose, and it just blows air into your nose. And like I was like, because I know what this is, because part of what precipitated me going to the sleep study was because I had a sleep, what did they call it? A bed mate, they called it, or someone who shares a bed with you. Mentions really? that you are a loud snorer or stop breathing, and Lauren said she's had to kick me because she thinks she can hear me stop breathing for a long period of time, because I'll be snoring loudly, and then all of a sudden I'll be silent for like 10 seconds.
And she would prefer you to not die. If she had her druthers.
So far, I mean, so that's good. She's been kicking me awake. So I assumed I had it because I also went on a vacation with my family, and my mom, my dad, and now my younger brother all brought their CPAPs to the hotel. And I was like, sensing a pattern here. I know that I've not been quite as bad of a snorer as any of my other family members, so it was just kind of like one of those things where it was like, okay, I get it. Like, as I sleep on my side, and I think all of my other, like, my parents and my brother sleep on their back, so so I was like, I sleep on my side, so I probably don't have it as bad, and I probably didn't have it as bad when I'm on my side, but I know when I'm on my back, it's really bad. So that's why I purposely tried to sleep on my back in the study, just because I wanted it to be as worse as it could be. So they said if you're doing a 2-night study, you'll wear the CPAP the second night. The first night we'll just monitor. But I wasn't doing that. I was doing a 1-night study. They said if during the night they see you having apnea, they'll put the mask on to see if that helps, basically. And sure enough, 2:00, the guy comes in and is like, all right, let's hook this shit up. He takes the nasal things out and he's like, all right, let's get that mask on. And it was really uncomfortable because I have learned that one of the hardest part, I was like, why? Because like my brother was like singing the praises of his CPAP. Like he was like, I never thought that I was like tired before, but now that I've been sleeping with my CPAP, like I feel like a whole new person. Like I just don't feel tired anymore. Like when I get 8 hours of sleep straight, like I'm not like waking up. I'm not like restless. It's just like, you know what I mean? So it's like kind of one of those things. There's just like, cause I got this Fitbit in the summer and it was telling me that every night I'm awake for an hour and 15 minutes. Like, cause it has little red lines where you're waking up. And so it's like, I'm not having that continuous like sleep that I should be getting. So they put the mask on. It was really uncomfortable because it basically blasts air into your nose. Like not like just a little bit, like it really pushes the air in, because it's got to keep your airways open. So the pressure is like pretty significant. And if you open your mouth while it's in your nose, it's the weirdest thing because it's shooting air through your nose out your mouth.
Yeah.
Like by default, so you're like, and I was like, oh, I have to just breathe. And he was like, just breathe through your nose. And so I don't know if I'm gonna. Well, I know that I do breathe through my mouth when I sleep though, but.
Yeah, did they try you on the full face mask at all?
No, so that
because I had that first, where like
so what they're
like
gonna
the
do
Bane
is,
mask that covers your mouth and nose all together.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to do that with a beard.
Oh, okay.
But I don't really think it's going to be a problem because I think my mouth is only open when I sleep because I drool, so I have a feeling that my mouth just kind of hangs open, and they have, I guess, like it's like a chin strap that keeps your mouth closed while you're sleeping. It's just like a little bit of a sling to keep your jaw from not just like slapping down. So, but anyway, what I've read is the fit is everything, and getting it to fit right is what makes you stay on it and makes it work. Because when it doesn't fit, you just have like air kind of like hissing like noise coming because it's not like fully connected and it's leaking, or like air shoots up into your eyes, like, and your eyes get dry or your nose gets dry. So it's a real like complicated machine, that they were just like, I was talking to other people and they were just like, yeah, you'll go to a thing and they'll get you fit. But anyway, so I was like, all right, well, it looks like we're going to try this. And I tried to sleep with it and it was kind of bad. And I eventually shifted around on my face and got like the nasal, they're like little like things that just shove up your nose and like create like a seal. So that like you breathe in through it and then you breathe out through it, and there's like little vents that like allow the air to go back out, like a one-way valve or whatever. Mm-hmm. So not super comfortable, and it makes breathing a little bit harder because you have to like push back out against the incoming pressure. But it just feels different. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not like harder, I guess, but like you're just more conscious of it because like the air pressure's keeping your airway open rather than just like having it naturally like shut. But it's not bad. It allows you to sleep. So I was eventually able to fall asleep on my side with that. And then I had an issue where I laid on my back and it kind of got moved a little bit and jostled, and it felt really weird, and it was like shooting air, and
and it was just
I got really anxious about it because I felt like I couldn't breathe. And then of course I had some heart skipped a beat, and I had an arrhythmia, and then I went into tachycardia. My heart was racing, so I kind of started having a panic attack because this Bane mask was like shooting air, and I felt like I couldn't breathe. And when you open your mouth and like air comes out, you're just like that. And so like I like literally was like, help. I like yelled, and the guy came in and it was like that, and I was just like, I just need like a minute. And so like I got up and I was like, well, I might as well pee. It's just like 4 a.m. And lay back down, calm down, like put it back on, like adjust a little better and fit. And then like, I slept knocked out until he came back in. Was like, okay, it's 5:30, get the fuck out of here. Basically.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, so
I do have I have an update. I don't want to jump on the end of your story, but I do have an update from the Game Awards.
Yes.
It turns out if you want to have McDonald's at home, they deliver with Uber Eats.
Yeah.
You get McDonald's delivered with Uber Eats. That's the Game Awards update.
Well, thank you. So, really just another funny
also
thing about
Breath
this.
of the Wild won Best Game Direction, but that's less important.
So what's really interesting is like you think that there's like a stigma around this, but like they're like, no, this is probably like the most underdiagnosed disorder that people have. Like, it's like if you snore, you probably have sleep apnea. Like, it's probably affecting you.
Because like people think it's all just like either old age or obesity or whatever, but like
they actually specifically said
if you happen to have large tonsils or like a ton of excess soft palate or like
it's
just
genetic
extra shit there.
Like you could just have more, mass in the back of your throat just because that's the way your body was built, and that's apparently what was with you because you had surgery to remove all that.
And
so
because I had been, people have told me I had like giant tonsils forever because I would always get strep throat like once a year. And on top of that, like I guess I just had a ton of extra soft palate tissue too back there, so they were just like, fucking cut it all out, we'll see how that works. And then I didn't need the machine anymore, so I gave it to my dad, and he's been using it ever since.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of one of those things where it's like you just should get checked, and it kind of sucks because it's like, can I just get the machine? Like, because if I snore, I know I have it. Like, because they're like, because there's not really any risks for you using it if you don't know if you have it, because all it does is just push air into your lungs, like, you probably would benefit from having it professionally fit and having someone who like knows it, like help you get the settings all right. But like, so
it's just like it's a weird thing to diagnose because it's like if you don't have somebody watching you sleep, like how do you know you're sleeping weird?
How would you ever know?
It's just
like, the symptoms of feeling tired, and that you'd notice. And the doctor, when I talked to my primary care physician, he was just like, you might be thinking, oh, you just feel tireder because you're older, or whatever. And it's like, yeah, that could be it. Or also it could be that you have sleep apnea because, maybe you shouldn't be this tired. Maybe you're not getting the sleep that you should be getting. And so that's it. I mean, the risk of you dying because of sleep apnea is extremely low, but it can happen, especially with older people. And so, like, it's just kind of like one of those things where it's like, just get it fixed, man. And my brother, like, the reason why I did it is my brother was just like, it changed my life. Like, I feel so much better all the time because I'm getting sleep now, like good sleep, like really refreshing sleep. So I was like, okay, so I guess I'll have to try that. So I went in, and the sleep technician was like, well, the doctor will call you in a few days and we'll discuss your test results. And I was like, but like, you came in and put the mask on, so there was some apnea that you saw, right? And he was like, yeah. But, we'll just have to have the doctor, like just every technician that ever does a thing, like imaging test or anything on you, they're like, well, I can't really discuss what I saw because I'm not a doctor, but, it's like, well, you put the mask on, so. And so they're like, all right, you'll know in a few days. And they call me 3 hours later saying, yeah, so you had 45 episodes of apnea an hour, which is the scale, I believe, for apnea is like 15 an hour is light sleep apnea or mild, and 15 to 30 is moderate, and over 30 is severe. So I have severe obstructive sleep apnea, from what it sounds like.
I think I was in the same area, somewhere around there.
My brother was talking about how he had like between 15 and 30, and he said when he slept on his side, it was a little bit below. But they were like, you know what, you should just have it because he's a loud snorer. So like they're just like, you know what? If you can get into there, this will help your sleep anyway. So you might as well if you're willing to pay for the machine. So and use it. So yeah, they're like, all right, well, we'll set you up for an appointment to get that figured out and fitted. So I guess I'm gonna be sleeping with the Darth Vader mask from now on.
Yeah.
Which is good though. I'm happy. I'm excited. Not because it freaked me out and I had a panic attack because of it, wearing it, which is not making me look forward to it in a way. But I know that if I actually
eventually, yeah.
Well, I know if I can get a professional like person to fit it, not some guy at 2 a.m. just trying to get it on so you can go back to bed and not bother you too much, you know. So, yeah. So I think that'll be good. I read that also. If you're worried about it, just like they're like, just wear it when you're watching TV,
yeah,
and like get used to breathing with it, and like, because like I think the worst part with it was like trying to like, because I was like just consciously trying to breathe through my nose, and like I was like, how can you sleep when you're like doing that? You're like, I was just,
yeah,
and it just happened to be that I would just like drift
get
off
used to it to the point where you're not thinking about it.
Exactly, and then I would just be like, you know, wake up and like need to turn over, and I'm like, oh, that was like an hour that I was just zonked out with the CPAP. So I know it works and it will work, but so I'm excited to feel better. You know, they talked about interesting. They were like all of these like symptoms that, you know, you can have, which is like for me, which can be like an irregular heartbeat, which I have sometimes, which is a delightful gift for my family. As my brother and father have both dealt with this. I don't have it nearly as bad, but you know, sometimes when I get that adrenaline going, my heart gets all skippy. And so they're like, yeah, that can help with that because like your heart's probably just stressed because your body is basically choking itself for hours every night, which is not good for your health. So, and they're like, yeah, they can say like people generally, you know, like, you know, they talk about how, you know, one of the symptoms is being overweight or obese, and they're like, but also apnea helps keep you overweight and obese because you get
it keeps
less
you
rest.
low energy.
It keeps you lower energy, you know, and it makes you tired. And it's like, yeah, shit. So I'm like looking forward to this having like better sleep because I never thought I really had bad sleep until like I realized like looking at that Fitbit, because I don't feel tired all the time. Like I don't take a lot of naps, but like I definitely have had a lot of the symptoms because I've had really bad dry mouth, and actually that's a symptom of the snoring from sleep. You know that, and it's like this is it. Like this has been going on. It feels good. It feels good to have an answer to that issue, and because I've already gone through my deductible, boom, ching ching, insurance. This is a cheap sleep test for me.
Go through the deductible makes everything cheaper, and then if you hit your yearly maximum, then it makes everything
free,
significantly cheaper. Yeah. I'm gonna just at this point try to save up for next year to do something because I'm probably in the same boat. I probably also have sleep apnea.
Yeah, and it's kind of one of those. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things you can live with, you know, because it doesn't. Because if you don't have like the tiredness, because like they're talking about like how if you have this for a long time, you're like falling asleep in your car, like you're like just can't even stay awake through a conversation because you're just so sleep deprived. So it's kind of one of those things. The earlier I think you can get it, the healthier you'll be, you know. So you might as well like just get, you know, looked into. And the great part about, I mean, the sleep study is kind of expensive. It's really expensive according to my insurance. It's like $3,000. That's the most expensive hotel night stay I've ever had. And they covered me in wires. And when the guy ripped them off in the morning, it was extremely painful. Not because it was like that painful to have those like gel things ripped off you on like your chest where you have hair. But because it was 5 o'clock in the morning and I had just woken up and he's like, all right, rip. And I'm like, whoa, hello. I'm awake. Holy shit. No, but yeah, it's something I think that if you think you have, you should probably look into it, you know, and like, you know, save up or if you go through your deductible, and it's, for me at least, the way my insurance works is when I'm past the deductible, everything's 80% off. Like I only pay 20%. So
Yeah.
that $3,000 study becomes a little bit more affordable. So that's why I waited until the end of the year, and I was like, all right, this will be cheap for me. So that's
between
good.
that and the fact that I've got still $4,000 more of dental work that I still have to get done. I got a lot of work to do.
You know, TJ, I can explain this to you this way. Get a robot body. These human bodies, they just are falling apart. Get that brain taken out, put in to a little tube in Norman Reedus's backpack, and you can go around and live. Yeah, man. Well, you know, I'm glad I got it looked into. I kind of like knew it was going to happen the whole time, and when I was there, sure enough, I was snorting myself awake, and the guy put the mask on, and I was like sleeping better, and it's like, yeah, so my future will be never sleeping without some giant metal thing or giant plastic nose thing, but
yeah,
I mean, you could sleep without it, obviously, but
yeah.
I'm probably going to go the matte route because I have tonsils that get infected every now and then. So I'm just going to get everything cut out.
Yeah, the surgery. Oh, surgery's not cheap either.
But
I know,
it's fun.
but it's got to go.
They give you Oxy. It's great.
I don't think I have that problem with the tonsils because I can't think. No, I've gotten a strep throat maybe once in my life. You know, like. Yeah.
Here's a pro tip for,
I had a random
for the surgery portion.
Oh, go ahead.
They'll give you Oxy, and you'll feel great, but don't go on a vacation while you're recovering, because even though you feel fine, you're gonna run out of the OxyContin, and withdrawal on that is
you just gotta go to Florida.
It's terrible, terrible.
Yeah.
So. And then you'll start vomiting. 2 days ago, and your mouth is all tore up. All the vomiting. This might be a personal story.
Well,
but anyway,
we could tell personal stories.
2 days ago, I went from having a normal, I could eat and drink throat to a sore throat to the point where I couldn't swallow anything. Looked at my throat in the mirror. I saw that they were swollen again, and I had calcifications in the pockets again. So I used the back of my tongue to get those out, and I started feeling better after a glass of tea in 4 hours.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere.
I have this funny thing where, like, there must be just a tiny bit of tonsil tissue left in my throat, because I'll get sore throats in this one small, like, specific spot, and I'll be like...
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's just like the last dying grasp of all of my childhood.
It's just there to remind you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I've had a doctor where I came in where I didn't have a sore. Well, it was after they treated me for the strep throat or whatever infection was going on, and then when they came in for the follow up, it was like, "Yeah, you don't have a sore throat right now." I'm like, "No, this is my normal state.
This is what it normally looks like."
Because these things are like the size of golf balls.
Yeah.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah,
no, they're definitely not.
The big ones. So I have a sore shoulder that's been bothering me. I can talk about that for a while.
While you guys were talking, I finally went ahead and opened Steam for the first time forever. So I downloaded Doki Doki Literature Club. So I'll get to that when I get a chance.
Yes.
Yeah, your computer can run it.
Yeah. I'm going to attempt to see if my computer can run the PC version of Use Your Words so I can stream that without having to pull up a console.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like that should be fairly low on the system demands.
Yeah, I hope so.
We got screen.
I really haven't talked too much. Do you guys want to hear about the new game for Switch, Floor Kids, or do you guys want to hear about the update for Patreon?
I want to hear about Floor Kids because I have no idea what the fuck that is, and it sounds interesting.
Okay. Floor Kids is an artsy new rhythm game for the Switch where basically you go across the city as breakdancing kids, and it's kind of like a rhythm game mixed with Tony Hawk where you're trying to chain together combos by breakdancing.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, they kind of announced it like a couple months ago, and then like a week ago, another trailer came out, and it came out this morning.
Is there like weird motion controls and stuff for it too?
No, no motion controls at all. It's just buttons. But they made it just for the Switch, just because they wanted to.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't
I'm
know,
looking at it. It's got a really cool art style. It's kind of like
Great soundtrack
sketchy.
too.
It looks like a sketchy internet comic kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of has that if I'm gonna go way back, that almost like the pencil sketch style, but colorized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is it
It's really
about?
cool.
Like, I'm trying to look up images of this thing for kids.
It looks like
straight up.
So
you
is
are
it like a
you
battle
are just
game?
showing off your breakdance moves.
Okay.
It's a versus mode where you can battle, but for the most part, it's a
Okay.
single player story where you go from level to level and you have certain tasks you have to do in your breakdancing that
Okay.
basically give you a high enough score in order to move on and collect new breakdancers. And each breakdancer has different moves that they do, different preferences. Like some may like doing power moves, some do freeze moves a little more, some like what do they call it? There's standing up
Crumping.
dance moves, and then there's like laying down dance moves. It's up top and low down. I don't remember what they're called, but it looks dumb, but it's a lot of fun. I would turn it back on, but I'd have to. Yeah, it seems dumb, but I had fun with it.
No, this looks really cool. Just like on the
Yeah,
art
it's
style
made by
alone,
a,
I'm
it's
sold.
made by
I'm
a
like,
Yeah.
it's made by a Canadian game development company with assistance from like a Canadian government fund.
Okay.
oh really?
I saw that on their website. Yeah.
Yeah, the art style does look really
Yeah,
cool.
that's funny.
Like,
I always love when I see like
You're into rhythm
Canadian-
games, TJ. This is your
I
favorite.
love
Canadian movies.
I love my rhythm games. I love my music games. It's the reason I'm playing Super Beat Sports as well.
Yeah.
Which is really just like, hey, it's sports but rhythm, and there's some battle modes too, made by the same guys who made Guitar Hero and Rock Band.
Nice.
Well,
I mean,
old Guitar Hero and Rock
Oh
Band.
That's cool.
shit.
Which reminds me, I want to get Drop
Have
Mix.
you looked up?
That's
Yeah,
just
I
a
was just
music
gonna
game,
ask
though.
you about that Drop Mix, because that looks
Yes,
pretty cool. And that's
and
is
GameStop
that
sells it.
Electro Harmonix?
Harmonix, yeah.
Oh yeah, Electro Harmonix is a guitar
yeah.
pedal company.
Yeah.
Harmonix.
Yeah, Harmonix has been making a lot of cool games, not just in the past year, because they also did Rock Band VR. I don't know if that's fully finished yet or if it's still in beta. But Drop Mix is a board game, card game, app game with where your cards have the near frequency chips inside. So when you put the cards on the deck, it mixes together the different parts of different songs. So like when you put your first card down, it's going to use that key signature and that tempo for every other card you put down. And maybe you put down like the guitar lick from, I don't know, Call Me Maybe. And then you put down the bass line from Run DMC's It's Tricky. And then you like throw down the vocals from Europe's Final Countdown. And it just mixes it all together. And there's not a lot of things that don't end up working together the way the game puts it all together.
And it's like the sensor is sensitive enough that it can tell which like order the cards are stacked in.
Well,
it can like near field chip.
It reads the last one. You know, basically the idea is since you're not stacking, there's five spots across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if you put a card on top, it'll just like that's the new card, so that's the one we're gonna play. But it's got a range of maybe about 6 or 7 cards before you got to kind of pull them off and put a new card there.
How much is this? I want this.
It's $100 for the base game.
Oh man!
And then there are expansions you can get.
Because I want to bring it to my family Christmas thing, but yeah, I'm probably not gonna have $100 left over, especially after I buy Fallout 4 VR and I'd have to buy at least a couple Christmas presents because of my goddamn family.
Do you know what's crazy? Like the Game Awards gets it right.
What do they do now?
They did Game of the Year.
Oh,
it's over.
Okay, cool. Yeah, someone just tweeted it. So
Game
Was it
of
Mario
the Year
Odyssey?
is my choice for Game of the Year. Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Odyssey is a close second.
Yeah, most of the lists I've seen have either Breath of the Wild or Odyssey.
Persona 5 for some people, but
hey,
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds makes sense as well.
Podcast co-hosts, if you wanted to pitch in on like a Christmas present for me, a Nintendo Switch would be a cool one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go through the awards because it's done, so we can go through it. I mean, it's like here. Let's start. We start at the top, obviously.
Somewhere?
I have a list. Yeah.
Okay,
it's just on the Wikipedia page for it. Somebody's already updated it.
Just pull it up. I'm not gonna look.
God bless people that don't have a life.
I know. Says the three dudes at like 11 o'clock talking to each other. No, this is our social time. All right. Game of the Year was Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, with the runners-up being Horizon Zero Dawn, which I own, have not played that much of.
God, I want to
Persona
play
5,
that, but I just
which
can't.
I bought actually because I had it was on sale on Black Friday, so I bought that. And I started playing that actually, TJ. I got I'm about maybe 8 hours in.
Okay. Once the plot bites, it's gonna keep you in.
Well, it already kind of has, because I kind of got the idea behind the first dungeon, and the stuff going on there is like, wow, this game goes places. So, and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which is on the list, even though it technically isn't out yet.
Yeah, where do you stand on that whole controversy?
I've kind of always been like, early access shouldn't count, but it's too late. It's over. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's the game was like, fully playable, $30, great experience. And to be fair to them, it is going to be out. They announced on the 20th of December. Yeah. We'll be there 1.0. So.
Well, I guess they have that desert map now, so maybe we should.
Yes, that's coming out. I know. Yeah, we got to play it. So, and then Super Mario Odyssey, which I'm surprised didn't take it, but because Breath of the Wild was like March. I think people.
I think Zelda does more things. I think Zelda does more things right, though.
Zelda does a lot of things wrong, though, too. Like, thinking about it.
Does.
Like, the way the story is told through flashbacks is kind of The voice acting isn't perfect. Zelda is bad. Some of the other characters are okay. But then some are bad, too. The Goron I didn't like. It was very anime, the voice acting. Not in a good way.
The thing that I would have thought would have clinched it for Mario is, and I think I'm the only one on this podcast who hasn't actually played it, but I'm.
No, I've only played the demo. I haven't picked it up yet.
Is that it introduces a game mechanic, and it's amazing. And then once you start to get tired of that, it introduces a new game mechanic.
Yeah,
and
that's one of the great things about
it. Keeps introducing new mechanics over and over and over. So on a mechanical level, it's a lot more interesting than Breath of the Wild, which is kind of like the same thing throughout the whole game.
Odyssey is great. It is one of the best Mario games, and it is both. The way that the challenge and difficulty in Odyssey is just perfect. Because it's a game that you could play and be like, this game is easy. And then you keep playing it, and it does the great thing with the difficulty in Nintendo games. Whereas let's look at Super Mario 3D World for the Wii U. I love that game. It looks great, it's fun to play. That's it. But it gives you lives, and when you die, you restart a level, and then if you die too many times, it gives you the cop-out silver Tanuki suit to make you invincible. It's just kind of like these things, and that's how they deal with the difficulty in that. the way this game deals with the difficulty is like the way that like Super Mario 64 would, whereas like, all right, here's some worlds, here's some moons that you got to collect. There's some that are fucking real hard and real difficult platforming that like when you go through it, you feel really accomplished. And then there's some there's not. So you basically get to choose what you want to do, and you get to kind of play and pick your own difficulty as you go, which is just incredible. Like it's so well designed in that way. But yeah, I love that game. It's so good. I haven't finished it because there's a point. I don't want to spoil the endings and stuff because it's just like your typical Nintendo game or typical Mario game where there's an ending, but then it's like, okay, but you can do all these other things after that, and there's some more challenging stuff to do after that, and then there's like another ending where you need to get like 500 moons out of the like 900 or so that exist, I guess, in the game, and
something, and then you can just buy your way to $9.99.
Well, good luck buying your way to $9.99. You have to farm coins, and that's no fun. But you can if you want. That's what I love about it. It just lets you play the game the way you want to play it, and it's really good. The controls are really tight, like, and the mechanic of like turning into all these different like characters is just so fun. Like, and just it's just fun to run around the worlds. Like, it's such a good game. God damn. But I think Breath of the Wild for me though is the best. That like awoke in me like the love of video games I had as a child, like, because it just throws you in there, like, and you just got to figure shit out yourself, and there's so much to discover, and like you're just like, do you see that? Like, I went on this hill and there's this fucking like unicorn that I saw, and like, you know, you're going online and be like, did you see this fucking unicorn? Like, it just is this discovery game like built for me because I love like Minecraft and other kind of like discovery games where you're just kind of making your own fun. Anyway, that's game of the year. Sorry.
That's fine.
I talked quite a bit, but so best game direction TJ had mentioned was Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And
I feel like I did. Matt did.
Yeah. Matt did say that as well, but
hey, you heard it here first.
Right. Definitely not first. Horizon Zero Dawn, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, Super Mario Odyssey, and Wolfenstein 2 also nominated. So yeah, again, well directed game. That's kind of a weird thing to think about as a consumer. As like, what does that mean? And that's a thing I think the industry panel also can look at.
Game direction really just means like the cohesiveness of everything.
Yeah,
the story, the art, the sound.
Yeah.
The voice acting, everything works together.
God, the art at Zelda. That is a pretty game. All right, best narrative. We had Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, Nier Automata, Horizon Zero Dawn, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. I have played 3 out of these 5, and What Remains of Edith Finch. The winner, What Remains of Edith Finch. I have not played that, but I heard it was a very interesting story. It's a walking simulator, as people that would disparage it call it, but I guess supposedly people talk about that one having like a really interesting story that's told in a unique way. So, best art direction. So I'm thinking about what I voted for, and so far it's pretty close. I think for best narrative, I voted for Nier Automata, but best art direction, Cuphead wins. That obviously should have won, with a very close second of to Persona 5. And a very close second to... This is a fucking good year, huh? Because Horizon Zero Dawn looked incredible as well. Persona 5, incredible looking. Legend of Zelda was like watching like a Studio Ghibli movie like play out on your screen. And Cuphead was just... Cuphead had to win this, though. Like, that game is some of the best art direction, just like the love letter to the like 1930s cartoons that it's, you know, going for is so cool. Nier Automata won Best Score or Music. The Legend of Zelda's score is really good. Super Mario Odyssey score is really good. Persona 5's music is really good. Destiny 2's was nominated. I could not hum a single tune to view for that, whereas the Persona 5 theme is stuck in my head. And I've only played 8 hours of that game. It's a great song, but the winner, Nier Automata.
Persona 5. This is Persona 5. Right?
That's kind of close, actually.
Wake up, get out there.
Oh, it's a great song.
Odyssey again?
Sorry. Yeah, I know, right? Odyssey also had great music. Nier Automata, though, the music in that game is so fucking good. Such a good soundtrack. I've been playing through that. I think I'm like 15 hours into that. That's great. Best audio design was Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, which I've heard is really good as well. Senua's Sacrifice, sorry. Which I've heard is a really interesting game. So I guess it's like about... I don't even know how to describe it. This is like the people that made Enslaved, Odyssey of the West, or whatever. And what was the other one, TJ? What was the PlayStation 3 game with the hair? The red-haired lady. Oh fuck! What was the Ninja Theory game for that? They get themselves an Andy Serkis to make games.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
What the fuck are their games? They did Enslaved. Oh, they did that new DMC, Devil May Cry in 2013. Heavenly Sword.
Heavenly Sword. That's it.
Yeah. So they did some really cool games. This game, apparently, the facial animations, the story, really good. It also won Games for Impact as well.
Which is a thing. That means something.
Yes. Well, what it is games that are like, I forget the way it was described, but it's like games that contribute to the dialogue around an issue, basically. So like Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, I think that game deals with mental health issues, because I believe the character is like schizophrenic or something, and I guess the way that it deals with like the mental like health is like very nuanced and interesting. Life is Strange, Before the Storm, Bury Me My Love, Night in the Woods. These are basically your Gamergate games, that the gaming press loves so much. So they there's collusion. It's all about ethics in game journalism.
Yeah.
The Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice also won Best Performance, which is like best voice actor performance as the main character, which I supposedly people were like, if you don't play that game, watch video of the motion like the person talking and the motion capture, like just looking so like incredible. Ashley Birch's Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn was also nominated, as was Brian Bloom for BJ Blazkowicz, Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, and then Claudia Black as Chloe Fraser and Laura Bailey as Nadine Ross in Uncharted Lost Legacy. All these performances I've heard are great, and I've played 2 of these games, Horizon Zero Dawn and Wolfenstein, both great. Best Ongoing Game, which is an award they've decided to have, is Overwatch 1. They just wanted to give Overwatch another award, so they made this category.
Should have been Heroes of the Storm.
It wasn't even nominated.
I'm assuming Final Fantasy 14's on there.
So no, the way that this goes is not best. I guess this is like best MMO / shooter that's recent, because Destiny
MOBA
2 Destiny 2 is on this list for some reason. That game came out this year, so I don't know why that was nominated for something. I figured best ongoing game was like, game that came out like last year, but everyone's still playing. Like, like an MMO that has been around for a while.
It should be something that's like continually updated.
Yes,
but
so
life, yeah.
Overwatch makes sense.
Yeah.
Putting out new characters.
And,
Grand Theft Auto Online makes sense. They keep putting out content packs with new vehicles and stuff, new game modes. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is on here for some reason, because that game isn't even out yet, but it's still the best ongoing game.
It's not ongoing. It hasn't gone yet. Warframe maybe works, but
Warframe apparently has had a bunch of updates this year. Rainbow Six Siege was the one I voted for, because that game is like huge, even though it came out 2 years ago. Best indie game was Cuphead as well. Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, Night in the Woods, Pyre, What Remains of Edith Finch, all also nominated. I've been playing Night in the Woods, and I've really enjoyed it so far. Like, if you're into that kind of like artsy style, I don't know how to describe it. Like maybe a Wes Anderson-y kind of like artsy style, and the story is about like you're a cat person lady who like dropped out of college and went back to your hometown where all your friends are like hanging out, and you're like, I don't know, it's just kind of this really interesting story that's being told, and it goes some places after that, but it's a real fun game. I don't know, what other categories do we care about? Best mobile game was Monument Valley 2. It beat Super Mario Run, which didn't that come out last year?
I think so.
No, I think it was after, though. I thought it was a December release.
I think it was December. It was worldwide iOS release December 15th, 2016. So I guess it was after the Game Awards. But
as John has already stated several times, both in real life and on the podcast, iOS doesn't count.
It does not. Fire Emblem Heroes came out on iOS and Android at the same time. Why couldn't everyone else do that? But that didn't win. Best handheld game, which is a weird category with the Switch existing. So this becomes best.
Both the Switch and mobile gaming existing.
Yeah. Yes. Switch and phone games existing.
So basically, this is best 3DS game.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all of the nominations.
Because no Vita games made the list, even though they're still making Vita games.
Metroid: Samus Returns won, which I think people generally recognize as a very good remake of the second Metroid game. So that's cool. Best VR game. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Weird
Now, TJ,
one.
are you going to play some Resident Evil PSVR? Because I want to live vicariously through you.
I've heard it's cool. I've heard I
want to play it so much, but it's not going to come out for anything other than PSVR.
Yeah, I get really freaked out with horror games, so I guess I'd be the one to watch.
To watch you suffer.
Let's see here. Best action game is Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus, which I've been playing. FYI, is so good. That game goes places, and I love the way the story is told. That's just like fucking balls to the wall. Let's murder fucking Nazis and bring the revolution to America.
Those Nazis. That's one of the games that's definitely on my list. I just don't know, like, if the money will materialize for it after.
It was
some other things.
I think it was available for $30 on the Steam sale for that. Yeah. So I'm assuming,
but even
the Christmas sale will probably be close to that.
Fallout 4 VR is full price $60 game, so that really is. And that's a no-brainer for me because I am nuts about the Fallout series. I have a Pip-Boy on my shelf. So that's really taken all of my finances for this Christmas season.
Let's see here. I don't really care about too many of these other categories. Best action adventure was Breath of the Wild. Best role-playing game was Persona 5, obviously.
Best family game.
Yep.
Super Mario Odyssey, which I think is the only award that it won, which is so weird to me.
Really? That is weird.
Yeah. It didn't win Best Action Adventure,
and it's
which
especially
is crazy.
Weird when you consider that Super Mario Odyssey is all about taking control of other characters against their will and possessing them and imprisoning them in the sunken place. And It's very not family friendly. You're just imprisoning these people and using their bodies as slaves. It's very bad.
And the best strategy game was Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle for some reason. Many people noted that there were very many incredible strategy games that weren't even nominated.
What else came out with strategy? Just
a lot of
off the top of your
PC
head.
strategy games came out this year. I don't know. I just know that on the forums that I'm around, people were bitching about how that was because there was a Total War that came out this year. I think that's on there though. Total War Warhammer 2, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there was another one that came out, like a big grand strategy. Oh, also TJ, Bayonetta 1 and 2 are coming to the Switch as well. So.
Yeah, I saw that. So.
Okay. Not just that.
And it's February.
Great. Am I going to buy it again?
No price.
I guess. I bought one and two
best
for
multiplayer category
Wii U.
hasn't been updated yet. I don't know who. We don't know who won that. Nobody will ever know who won
Probably
that.
PUBG. Because I saw them accepting an award, and they won. I saw them accepting an award, so that must have been it. Yep, Forza Motorsport 7 won Best
Do you think
Sports
maybe they won the
Racing
Student Game Award?
Probably not. Best Debut Indie Game, Cuphead, took it as well.
You
Really?
can't
Yeah.
be
Their
best
debut?
debut indie game and best indie game. That's double dipping.
Yeah. Also, they debuted that game like 6 years ago or whatever. I think I voted for Cuphead for best indie game, but I voted for I think Slime Rancher or Golf Story for best debut.
Oh man.
Golf
Looking
Story's
at
good.
this,
It's really good.
You're looking at the
I need to finish
Wikipedia, right? The Horizon Zero Dawn, 6 nominations, 0 wins. No, PUBG,
Oh my God,
3
guys.
nominations, 0 wins.
Sorry, guys. I'm so we got through the worst. We skipped the best awards here. The Fans' Choice Awards. We've got most anticipated game, The Last of Us Part 2 by Naughty Dog won the game we're most fucking rock hard for. Let's see here. Trending Gamer 2017 was Dr. Disrespect.
He's a big PUBG guy.
A guy who wears fake hair and sunglasses and says, naughty things.
But a real mustache.
Beat out Clint Lexa, who's a speedrunner known as Half Coordinator, who speedruns games such as Nier with one arm. He lost to a guy who wears fake hair. And Steven Spawn from Able Gamers, who's a guy who's paralyzed, I believe, from the neck down and still plays games, also lost. So people voted for a guy who says funny shit.
But he says dirty words. Yeah.
So that's it. If you got a disability and you speedrun, make sure you're swearing on those Twitch streams. Get those dirty words. No, the Dr. Disrespect guy is actually a pretty great streamer as well, so I can't really...
No, he's good.
Just
I
would have
want
assumed
to dislike him
half-coordinated.
just because of his whole persona, but he's actually quite good.
But Half Coordinator played Nier Automata and SGDQ one-handed, in under 2 hours. So that, come on! Anyway, best esports game is Overwatch, which is abso-fucking-lutely incorrect because absolutely nobody watches Overwatch esports. I've seen constant esports notifications of teams dropping out of the Overwatch League because there's
the best esport to watch is Heroes of the Storm.
No. Is probably I'm trying to think of the best esports game is probably
Hearthstone?
Go Tour League, but I think Rocket League deserved to win because that game is really fun to watch as an esports game because it's basically just a sports game. You guys, Faker, Lee Sang-hyuk, the League of Legends player for the SK Telecom 1 team, huh?
I don't know what the words you're saying.
Yeah.
What about the best esports team? Cloud9 won, baby.
Okay.
What about the Chinese Fan Game Award? JX3 HD, developed by Kingsoft Corporation. I don't know. Is that some sort of like clicker game where you like pay $100?
No, who's the company that always brings stuff to the Chinese market? I don't remember. They're doing the PUBG mobile game. Yeah, Tencent. Yeah. I'm surprised it's not a Tencent game.
Sorry, they sold out. I've never even heard of this game, JX3. Like,
I don't know.
It's insane because I'm searching it, and the only thing that comes up is like a press release from some like news company that's like a month old, talking about how the beta was well received. Like,
oh,
what?
We got to pause this discussion on an award show and talk about the award that we just won. From Twitch, we won the part-time, full-time award for streaming 8 hours in the past 30 days.
Nice.
So congratulations, us. There's a little gif of confetti happening, and we're great. We're great.
Before we wrap up, because I think we're at time.
No, I don't want this to ever end.
TJ, you said you had a Patreon update?
It's not necessarily our Patreon update. It's all Patreon update, and it's controversy.
Oh, great. What's
all right.
controversial?
Patreon is changing the way it takes its fees.
Okay, how does that work?
All right, so right now the way Patreon takes its fees is anyone who is a patron and is donating to their favorite creators, they donate whatever they do, and then Patreon takes a cut, somewhere between 3 to 10%, and then there's some processing fees, but that gets taken off on the handling side for the creators, and then the creators get a cut of what is pledged. Now they are changing it up, where it's like, in order for creators to be able to get more, they are now going to be adding the fees to the patrons. 35 cents per pledge. Not per month for all your pledges, but per pledge. So if you have 10 pledges, that's an extra $3.50 plus I think it's 6.5%.
You mispronounced that. It's actually $3.50.
Thank you.
$3.50. What are you, a 6.5 million year old monster from the Paleolithic era?
No, but basically what it's saying is that if you're donating $1 a month to something, 35 cents of that,
$1.38.
Yeah.
Well, because you also get the 6%, or the 3.5%. So
correct.
You're paying 38% more than what you're expecting, and a lot of $1 donors are going to no longer donate $1. It's going to hurt most low-level creators.
So it's kind of one of those things. It's like a really weird way of doing this. It doesn't really affect me because we don't make a living off this. I appreciate all the people donating to us. We give a shout out for our November donors, since that just happened. I just got to actually go to the Patreon page, which I had open. We had Breton. Thank you for your generous donation. We had Dallas. Thank you for your donation. Mm-hmm. Aaron, thank you. Matt, thank you for paying into the show.
Oh, hey, you're welcome.
See, I almost want to go back to paying into it just so I can get the updates and know what they are.
Yeah. Well, so with this fee change, I have a hard time thinking that the people that give $1 are gonna suddenly stop giving because they have to give $1.30.
No, but it's just annoying because a lot of people are just like, let me just give $1, and before the processing fee would be like, okay, you're paying $1, but they take 3% out of it, so it's 3 cents they were charging for the transaction for that. Now it's 35. So the low donations are being disproportionately charged way more for the transaction fee, which is really annoying. Because that's because I donated $1 to quite a few places. Now I feel like I have to donate more than $1 to some of these places.
Or, a lot of people are going to be consolidating their pledges. So instead of having
that's
10,
true, because
15,
if you have 20
$1
pledges, you are 35 cents times 20, you're just paying for transaction fees and not
Yeah.
going to your creators.
So what I would do is like consolidate and do higher pledges to less people.
Yeah, basically, which is bad.
Which again will hurt the smaller creators.
So what you're
So
saying
that's what's
is
going on
we
with that.
should burn down the credit card companies so that they stop charging those fees, and we can fight
it's
club
mostly
this whole
Patreon
situation.
it's mostly Patreon trying to get a bigger cut.
Basically, yes, because their transaction fees, I guarantee you, did not go up. They just are changing the way that they're doing it to make things simpler for them in terms of management, because it's easier to just take 35 cents out of every single person.
Yep.
And it's going to give them a bigger cut for those lower donations. It's literally a little bit better for both things.
So if for instance, I pledge $1.73 to someone, because I always add a 73 on everything I do.
Yeah.
In the past, that creator was probably getting, because they'd get a processing, a handling fee and a percentage cut for Patreon, and they would get about, let's say, $1.50 out of that. Now the creator is going to get $1.73, but I'm going to be charged somewhere around $2.10.
Yeah.
But my pledge will still say $1.73.
So can we talk about? Oh fuck! I just lost my train of thought. It's late. I need to get to bed. I woke up at 5:30 this morning from sleeping in a weird apnea chamber.
And a man pulled things off of your face.
Ripped them off. But I actually didn't feel tired all day though. So maybe that 3 or 4 hours I got with the mask on was good. Yeah, thanks for listening. John Dangerous Place.
I own Stardew Valley. I bought it in a Humble Bundle and didn't put it into my Steam, so I'm trying to catch up on things.
Let's see here. What was I going to mention about? I had something I was going to say about Patreon. Oh, anyway. Thank you guys for donating.
The rest... We hit all the shoutouts. Never mind.
Oh, no, yeah. What I was going to mention
Play HQ Trivia. Use join code I make noise. That I get extra revives for when I get trivia questions wrong.
It's going to be on Android before Christmas, they said. So
okay.
Next week or two here, we'll have it, and I'll get to play. But no, I was just saying with Patreon, it's like, okay, yeah, this is like a little bit of a mini scandal. Not really scandal, but just kind of annoying the way that they're doing it. Still better than YouTube being like, hey, all you creators, you're not going to make half the money you were making just in one little change. Yep. This is more like, okay, things are going to get a little tighter, in terms of that, but not like devastating reduction in wins. So anyway, thanks for listening. Website is bornintheeighties.net. You can find us there. I'm on Twitter, John_Danger. Matt, anything else you'd like to mention besides your HQ Trivia?
You can check me out at matthigmusic.com and
there it is.
Listen to me on the Spotify.
Nice. TJ, what do you have to say for yourself?
You can find me. I'm ashamed to be here.
I figured.
But you can find me on Twitter over at mayofmay84. That's where I mostly will talk and respond, but if you want to get more instant access, take John's link to bornintheeighties.net and hit that Discord link. Go ahead and join us there. We have a subreddit. We have yet to post anything there, but I'm looking to do quite a bit more stuff with it, being the, quote, de facto community manager, unquote.
What's the Reddit?
You're not. There's nothing de facto about it. You're the community manager because you're the one
TJ,
with social
what's the
skills.
Reddit?
It's r/bornintheeighties. Spell out the 80s. Should be born in the 80s.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna subscribe to it right now.
Yeah, because you'll be a mod. Because I've invited you to do that. Same thing with John.
Wait. How did you invite me?
Well, you might have a message somewhere. I don't know. But either way, if you subscribe, you're a mod already.
Oh, nice. I gotta log out and log in to Reddit. I haven't been logged in Reddit in a while. All right.
I usually just do it on my phone. Did I break my computer?
Uh-oh.
I broke something.
We suspended your account due to... what? Oh. I just need to reset my password. Right. Anyway.
And the...
So let's end the podcast.
Born
Good night.
Bye, everyone.
Born in